Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today I want to show you how to run a Ditch Witch SK series mini skid steer. And the one I own is an SK800. If you like what you see today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. But that subscribe button is the most important one, as only 17% of you subscribe to our channel right now. So a lot of people watching our videos, but they're not hitting that red button. So I'd appreciate it if you'd click subscribe. All right. So I've owned a couple different machines, and I've also rented a few machines, and every machine's different. So I'm going to explain the functions and the functionality of this particular brand, because this is what I own right now and this is what I'm getting used to. And it seems like a lot of people, when they first rent a machine, or if they've never operated one before, it can be a little nerve-wracking. I was intimidated, and I'm an experienced user, and I was intimidated to run this machine for the first, 10 hours or so that I ran it, because nobody was there to teach me anything. So this video is for mostly the first-time user or the person that's gonna rent one of these. These are a great machine. I didn't realize how much power they have, or the strength of the lift. I added a 400-pound weight kit to the bottom of my machine so I could actually lift a little more weight, and it's a little more stable, because I use this machine to run helical piles for my business as well. So you've probably seen videos of us doing that, and that's just another feature that's the reason why I invested in a little bit heavier duty machine. This machine is by a company called Ditch Witch, and they make some really nice equipment, a lot of commercialized and city use, that kind of thing. But it's also a great personal machine for my business, and I also use it on my property all the time. I own a larger skid steer, and this is categorized as or known as a mini skid steer. But there's nothing really mini about it. This thing is power packed, and it does a lot for you. So basically what this video is about is the controls. How do the controls work? How do you use them? And that sort of thing. So what we have here is your instrument panel. Your cluster is pretty much all in one space. All right, so over here you have your forward and reverse, and right and left. Right, left, reverse, forward. And you control those all with just one hand, your left hand. You control all those functions with just one hand, okay? This knob right here is your throttle. This is your parking brake right here. It says P for park, but it's not really a parking brake, it's a control lockout. So when you hit this button, you cannot move back and forth. You have to activate it so that you can run. Here's your throttle right here. High and low. I usually run in high when I'm running. Sometimes though, when I'm idling, I'll just bring it back down so it's not blaring as loud in my ears. This knob here is your auxiliary hydraulics. This is a knob I use when we are running our helical piles, or anytime you have an attachment besides a bucket or a set of forks on it that needs to spin, or some kind of hydraulic fluid needs to be running through it. And this is your joystick right here. Your joystick operates the boom and your bucket. So it'll raise and lower your boom, and it'll also tilt and dump the bucket. So that's up, that's down, that's tilting the bucket up and down as well, okay? Here's your key. That's how you start. There's glow plugs on this machine. So when you go to start it, you turn it to glow plug, and then you have to push this button over here to activate the glow plugs. You run that for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then you can start your machine, okay? There's an hour meter right here. As you can see, there's a really loud beep when you start the machine that I've covered up with some electrical tape because it was annoying to me, so I didn't like it. So I just put some electrical tape on it to cover that up. And I think this is a cigarette lighter, or maybe an auxiliary power adapter hole or something. I don't know, I've never used it. I bought this machine used with about 700 hours on it, and now it has 748. I have serviced it, so that was about $1,000. I had a hydraulic hose brake, and then I did a complete fluid change, all the hydraulics, all the motor oils, all the filters, everything was done. So I did all that and serviced it, and now I'm good till 1,000 hours. So I got 250 hours to go on this machine before I have to worry about changing any fluids, oils, or anything like that. I just got to make sure that the motor oil stays filled and that it doesn't get too low, like standard maintenance, right? One of the things I like about this machine is it's greaseless. All the bushings and everything are greaseless. There's only one place I have to add grease, and that's for the tracks, to make sure that they have enough pressure so that you don't lose them or they don't slip off in some like extreme circumstances. I haven't had any issues with that, but occasionally I'll check the pressure on the grease levels on the tracks to make sure that they have enough grease in there so that they retain the pressure they need so that they're not slipping off. So that's a brief explanation. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the machine and kind of run through these functions for you and show you exactly what each one does. All right, guys, so since I've already ran my machine, I don't need to use the glow plugs right now. I'm just going to go ahead and start it up. I'm going to leave this in low so hopefully you can hear me talking. And we're gonna go through all the commands on the sticks, okay? So here we go. Hear that? All right, so first things first, you gotta learn how to drive it. You gotta learn how to drive this machine, right? That's all done with your left hand, like I said earlier. So to go backwards, you pull on both sticks in the same direction, back. Forward, you just push on them like this. To turn to the right slowly, you pull back on the right stick. If you want to go a little faster and turn a little tighter, you can push forward on the left stick and backward on the right stick. And to go back the opposite direction, you do the same thing. To turn slowly on a bigger diameter, you would pull back on the left stick. But to turn in a tighter radius, you kind of twist the sticks. You pull back on the left and you push forward on the right. And that's basically how you drive the machine, all with your one hand. All right. So that's how you go forward and backward, right and left. Now to get the bucket to do what you want, and to raise and lower the boom, that's what this green stick's for. To raise up, you pull back on it. To lower it back down, you push forward. To tilt the bucket forward, you have to pull the stick to the right, this way. And to bring it back up, you push it to the left. Now we're going to set the bucket back down by pushing forward. So there's two other sticks here. One's throttle, which I'm not going to use because it would just drown me out as far as volume. But this yellow knob is special. What the yellow knob is your auxiliary hydraulics for attachments for your machine. So I have an auger, I have a helical pile driver, I have also a trencher and a cultivator that I can put on this machine, hook up to different spots. Usually this one and this one is what we hook up to, and that'll allow you to run the auxiliary hydraulics on the machine. So let's just say you're running one of these and you have a post hole digger that you want to attach to it. The one thing you got to remember is to be able to use this hydraulic part of the machine, you also have to activate the foot pedal down here. If you don't activate the foot pedal, this lever is not going to work for you, okay? So just something to consider. If you're going to run an implement, you might want to keep that foot down on that. I basically ride. I'll just step on it, and then I can run forward and reverse, which could be right and left. It just really depends, or front and back, or whatever attachment you're using will determine which way that works. But for us, you pull back like this. That activates the drive. Now, On my machine, I don't know if it's supposed to be this way. If I activate it, it'll activate slow, but if I pull on the lever just a little bit, that extra 1/4 inch, or maybe 3/8, it puts it in a little bit faster mode. So sometimes I'll run the throttle high, and I'll pull back on this lever, and it'll actually drive a little bit better. I don't know why it does that. Maybe somebody that has more experience with these machines than I do can answer that for us. Just leave a comment below. And if you like this video, please click that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content, and leave a comment below. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.